Welcome everybody to Tax Talk. I got the man, the tax man himself, Jerry Massac, CPA here at the firm. You know, we talk about tax a lot, and we're going to shift gears a little bit today, and we're going to talk to all of you business owners out there. So whether you own a business now, you're thinking about owning one, or maybe you know somebody who owns one, today is going to be a good tax talk for all of you out there. Business entity planning. This is such a huge, overlooked thing. You know, we talk about tax preparation versus tax planning. So many tax preparers don't even think this through. They just prepare the taxes, Jerry, as you've seen, based on the entity that is presented to them. They're not necessarily planning when it comes to that. So what is business entity planning? And more importantly, Jerry, like what, if somebody owns a business, what should they be thinking about as we look at the types of businesses that are out there today?
Yeah, Bill. There's four main types of businesses available. You can have a sole proprietorship, you could have a partnership, a corporation, or an LLC. And within those business entities, you are able to make certain tax elections also. And based on that type of entity, it'll determine how you're taxed and such things like that.
So when it comes to, well, let's use one for an example. This is such a big one. Corporation. There's a couple types of corps that exist.
That's exactly right. There is a C corporation, which is your regular corporation. You'll hear double taxation when you hear C corporation. Not necessarily a bad thing, but it's part of the planning process. There's also something called an S corporation, which is a small business corporation that allows you to make a tax election. That's a flow-through business.
$1 million question. A lot of people are wondering, regardless of my entity type, really what we're saying here, I think, is what you're saying is that the key to this is how they're taxed.
Correct.
And there's also planning opportunities that are big within this. And so when a business person comes in and sits down and gets a tax planning review, this is a huge component of what we're looking at.
Absolutely.
So walk everybody through, Jerry, like what do you do, or what are some of the big things that you would incorporate in that tax plan?
Absolutely. So when we're thinking about a business, or we're thinking about a business entity plan, we're looking at, hey, what's available from a taxation standpoint? Can we, there's something called the qualified business income deduction. It's a 20% free deduction on flow-through income. It's an opportunity.
Another big one here, we see this a lot of times, you know, because it's how do the owners pay themselves based on how the entity is taxed.
Absolutely. So based on how the entity and the type of entity, that'll dictate how the owner can pay himself, because obviously that would be a very important opportunity or important strategy to have.
And a big thing certainly is a retirement plan design. That's something that we look at, and that really kind of boils down to, you know, how much money do you want to put away? Why do you have this retirement plan? What's the purpose of it? So there's a number of strategies out there that can actually skew more money to the owner based on the age group of it, where you could put maybe 60, 70, 80% of the total money going into the plan could be skewed toward the owner if your demographics are right. So you need somebody that's paying attention to that. All right, there's a few more. I know you want to get to them.
Absolutely.
Standalone and flow through, we alluded to it a little bit.
Absolutely. So a standalone would be a lot like a C corporation. It has own tax structure. It's got its own tax rates. It's got its own tax rules. A flow through is like a partnership or a sole proprietorship or an S corporation. That income flows through to the business owner's tax return.
Two more big ones here. You've got limited and unlimited, and that's liability when it comes to that perspective.
Absolutely.
That we're looking at. And then how about this for a rhetorical question? How would you, as a business owner, like more tax-free income? You think anybody's going to say no to that, Jerry?
I would say they're crazy if they don't.
Right. So bottom line, it's time to get a tax plan review. A lot of tax credits are being missed. You need to give us a call. There's multiple entity strategies. We will tell you the strategy that makes the most sense for your situation, no matter what it is. It's easy to get. Tax plan review, ask for it by name. Bill and Jerry, 800-878-6223. Say, I want Bill and Jerry. I want Jerry's tax plan. Or you can go online, wasmithfinancial.com, more resources, and to book that appointment. See you next time, Tax Talk.